Hi, welcome back. To my new viewers, welcome. I'm Miss Wangoi Moithathi, and we talk about tips and bits, a few things here and there that can help you improve or upgrade your life. Today, we're going to talk about ways in which you can live below your means. Stay tuned. So today, I'd like to share a few tips on how to live below your means. My first point, pay off any outstanding debts. If you have a loan somewhere, try and find a way of paying them. Don't try to run away from debt if you have any. To avoid balance rollover and accrued interest rates. When you postpone paying your debt, there's a certain amount of money that is charged above the overall amount of money you were supposed to pay. So the earlier you can do this, the better for your finances and for you. Point number 2, try a no-spend challenge. It could be a few days, 3 days, 5 days, a week, or a month. Remember, delayed gratification teaches you self-control and self-discipline. So try to incorporate a no-spend challenge within your life. Point number 3, negotiate on stuff. My daughter says I bargain a lot. I have to negotiate on whatever deal I'm trying to get. If I'm going to buy a car, I'll try and get a better deal. Not every price you're told you just go with. If you if you do a little more research, you realize you can get a better deal somewhere else. Or if you really take your time or decide to ask for a bargain, you might be surprised. They might just give it to you. So don't ever underestimate the power of bargaining or the power of negotiation. My next point, try and use cash. There's a lot of transaction fees that are deducted from our money every day. Since the COVID era, a lot of people went to cashless mode of payment. But if you can really try and go back to paying cash, that will be best. You'll be able to save a few bucks here and there. Sometimes sit down once in a while. Or if you've never tried it, sit down and for the last 1 month, look at all the transactions you've made, calculate all the transaction fees, check the total, and tell me how much money you think you could have saved if you decided to go cash instead of using transactions. My next point, downsize your house. I don't see any point of you living alone and you have a 3-bedroom house or a 2-bedroom house. What's the room for? And even if you really love the house or you already bought it, try and use this other room for something else. Probably something that can give you more money. If you don't mind living with someone else, you can rent out that space. But for security reasons, some people would not prefer going down that way. You can also start an online job or side hustle in that room. Just don't let that room stay unused. Try and make use of every room in your house. But if you can move to a smaller house and save more money, please do that. Try and downsize. To my next point, no more new house decor. These things will never end. So teach yourself to put a stop to it. There's always new, beautiful, eye-catching stuff. People are always producing these things, promoting consumerism. So teach yourself to say no. Say no. Decide whatever it is that you have at the moment is enough, because we're trying to live below our means. Don't go for everything that looks popping and you just want to buy it and put it in the house. Say no and be content with what you already have. And to my next point. Cancel or pause streaming services, especially if you're not using them. Try and cancel or pause. This will save you lots of money. And nowadays, people don't really have the time, okay? You pay for these services, and then most of the days, most of your hours, you're at work or you're outside doing something else. So this is just your money going to waste. And at the same time, you can only watch one thing at a time, okay? So having so many subscriptions, that's just getting more money out of your pocket. So cancel or pause them. You can always change whenever you feel like, but use one if you could at a moment. And to my next point, cancel music subscriptions. Why are you paying for something that you can get freely somewhere else? There's radio stations, there's literally other different ways you can listen or you can, stream music, but you don't have to pay for it. So cancel those music subscriptions that you have, and that way you'll have more money in your pockets. Next point. The other day I was just shopping around and I was looking at the price of a washing machine, and then I saw the price of a drying machine. These things are expensive. Well, you can go for a washing machine, but as for the drying machine, if you're trying to save some money, don't go for a drying machine. Use the old school method. Just dry your clothes outside, hang them somewhere. This will save you money in terms of purchasing that drying machine, that dryer, and this dryer uses electricity. So you will save money in 2 or more ways. Next point. Do not get pets. I love pets. I had a pet. She was called Sherry. Oh, I loved this dog. But she died. But what I can tell you is pets are expensive. Especially there's a type of breed. They're not like the local dogs that you see around. They're very expensive. They eat expensive food. Taking care of them is expensive. Grooming is expensive. Going to take them to see a vet is expensive. So in general, pets are expensive. If you can do away with having or owning a pet, just do just that. Pets will cost you a lot of money. So stay in your lane. Let those who can afford it have them. And sometimes it's just nice to sit and watch. When you go visit them, you can pet the dogs. And that's it. Namaste. On to my next point. Try to eat at home most of the time. You see, eating out or indulging, once in a while it's allowed, but every weekend, 3 times in a week, you're always eating out. That's a lot of money. That's very, very expensive. We are trying to save. Remember, live below your means so that you can see what you're working for. When you spend all your money, you'll end up miserable. So these are just frugal ways of trying to save more money. So stop eating out. If you can cook, great. If you don't know how to cook, this is my next point, learn how to cook. It will save you lots and lots of money. Buy ingredients from scratch and cook. And you'll be very amazed. You might even be a very good cook or a very great chef. You never know until you try. So learn how to cook, learn how to fix yourself meals, and this will save you time and money. On to my next point. When you're going for shopping, go with a list. Don't do guesswork at the supermarket or in the stores. I promise you, you'll end up buying something that you really didn't need in the first place. So please, 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 you might look weird, you might look old-fashioned, but have a budget. Write down whatever it is that you need or you've run out of at home. Carry this list when you're going to the supermarket. I do that. I'm not embarrassed. But one thing I know is I do not want to go and buy something that I want, and I forget buying a need, and then I go back to the house. I've wasted money on fuel. I've wasted my time, only to come home and realize something that I really needed, I didn't buy. Simply because I didn't go with a shopping list. Please shop with a list and stick to your list. Stick to that list. Okay. Another thing, when you're going shopping, carry your own bags. Have you noticed, like, every time you go without a bag, after you've finished shopping, they want to impose their bags on you? Like, do we include a bag? And these bags are costly. Yet you have so many other bags in the house. We are trying to declutter and live a minimal life. So carry your own bag. Always have a bag, fold it together and just carry it. It will save you some money. When you do all these things and you put all that money you're trying to save together, that's a lot of money, okay? So do not assume because it looks like it's just something small, you can do away with it. No. You will pay a very high price for ignorance. To my next point. If you can be able to do shopping from home and then they can deliver for you, good. This is especially great for those people who are tempted to buy other things. For instance, if you're a sweet tooth and you find like you'll go to the aisle where there's snacks, sweets and chocolates and you'll just lose control. If you can be able to shop online and have them deliver for you, well, that would be great. So do exactly that. It will save you money. If you're driving, it will save you fuel. Next point. If you're shopping, buy in bulk. Stop buying these small quantities of things. That's really expensive. Buy in bulk and also cook in bulk. It's not like every meal you have to go back to the kitchen and start cooking from scratch. No. Cook in bulk. Especially meals that you can consume in 2 or 3 days. Cook in bulk. You'll save time and money. Shopping in bulk also saves you time and money. Just take yourself to the stores and do the comparison. See the difference and let me know what you find out on the comment section. Next point, work from home. If you can be able to do that, you will save a lot of money moving around, going to work. It will save you a lot of money. And if it's food, brunch, you eat food that you had cooked at home. If you have children, you'll save money for daycares and nannies. So in general, you're just saving money. This mostly applies for mothers, wives, but even for some men. If you really can work from home, do it. Save that extra money you want to go and pay someone else to have an office or unless it has really come to that. When you grow so big that all that stuff or whatever it is that you're doing, you can't handle it from home, then you can venture outside. If your company or whatever it is you're doing is not that big, just try and do it at home. My next point, stop buying drinks and coffee in restaurants. When you go to a restaurant, ask for a glass of water, just something simple. Or if you're going to a restaurant, eat first, then go to the restaurant. When you shop and you have these things at home and you have them, you'll feel no need of going to a restaurant and actually ordering for these things. Whatever it is that you can fix at home or you can buy at a cheaper price and have it at home, avoid going to order for it in a restaurant. That will save you lots of money because restaurants are very expensive. That we can all attest. My next point is get a smaller car. If you do not really need that big car, why do you have it? The bigger it is, the more expensive it is. Unless you have all this money you want to throw around and you don't mind, of which I think no matter how wealthy I'd become, I'd be very, very cautious and very wary of how my money is being spent. So if you have a small family, yet you have a very big car, I don't see the point of it. Because these big cars, they come with a huge amount of insurance. They're very expensive and they're very consuming. The CC is very high, meaning that car will consume a lot of fuel. We are trying to minimize and cut costs. So if you can go for a smaller car, which will do the same purpose, go for it. Don't care about what other people will say. This is your life we're talking about. They have their lives to live and you have yours. So do what is best for you. On to my next point. Combine your errands into one trip. Combine your errands into one trip. What do I mean? For instance, when I'm leaving the house, I try to make sure I am not leaving just because of one thing. I'll try and incorporate 2 or 3 things that I can do at once, especially if you're driving. This is fuel. Even if you're using, like in Kenya, people use matatus or they use Uber, taxi, whatever it is that you're doing, unless you're walking, which is good for exercise. Other than that, I would advise you try and hit 2 or 3 birds with one stone. I bake cakes. So whenever I'm going out to do deliveries, I ensure that is the same time I will go with my list and buy whatever it is that we've run out of or whatever it is that we need. I will try, and that's the same time I'll get the car washed. I'll try and whatever it is, go to the market, go to the stores. If there's something else I need, I'll try and incorporate that. If I'm meeting someone, I'll try and set the meeting between that time I'm leaving the house. This way, I get to save at least something for myself. Remember, we don't want to use all this money on other people. We need to keep some for ourselves, okay? On to my next point. Practice minimalism. Practice minimalism. I love this minimalism journey. I'm speaking for myself. Consumerism will deplete all your money. The world right now is, everything is about buying, accumulating stuff, They just don't care. They want you to consume it. We will produce something, you consume it. We will do this, you consume it. The journey to minimalism is knowing your limits and learning how to say no. You say, I can do without this, I can do without this. I will not buy this for this and these reasons. I don't need it. Consumerism will deplete your money. So try and learn a lot about minimalism, advantages, learn about consumerism and its disadvantages. And then let me know what you find out. Okay. Next point. Reduce social media consumption. Scrolling. Oh, this is nice. I can buy it. Scrolling. Oh, I like this. I can buy it. Reduce social media consumption. If you don't have anything else to do, let not scrolling be the first thing that comes to your mind. Because this scrolling, it promotes a lot of impulse buying. And that's something we do not want. Impulse buying is when you buy something that you had not planned for. Just because you've seen it and you have the money, you feel, I can afford it at the moment, and you go and buy it. So reduce social media consumption. Or you guys have not noticed a lot of social media stuff is they're putting things on your face. So buy this, buy that, buy this. So try and reduce it. You'll become less anxious and you'll become more peaceful. On to my next point. Grow your own vegetables. Have a small kitchen garden. If you live in an apartment or something, you can get like 5 pots like this. They sell it in the supermarkets where you can plant your own 2 small vegetables, pepper, spinach, and all that. If you have the space, have your own small garden. Vegetables and fruits nowadays are becoming so expensive. So if you can be able to grow yours, you do it. And don't feel bad about it. Actually, gardening is considered as one of the ways to help you relax and to get out, to remove your mind from this busy world. So if you have the space, utilize it and try and do some gardening. My next point. If you don't have space for gardening, I would suggest buy your vegetables at a farmer's market. Go to a local market. Things there are cheaper and buy in bulk. Don't go buying vegetables and fruits in a supermarket. It will cost you more. Go to an open air market. Things there are a bit cheaper. I am talking to those people who are trying to live below their means. If you have the money to indulge, I'm not talking to you. You do what you gotta do. Next point. If you can avoid using your car and you can use a bike, or you can walk, or you can carpool to somewhere to work or wherever it is that you're going. Like, for instance, if you're traveling to upcountry, Ushago, if you can be able to carpool, you guys will save a lot of money. But nowadays, we have a lot of ego. I have to drive, you drive, and we're all going to the same place, and it's so far away. You guys are going to Nanyuki. Instead of carpooling, you want to show your friends or your relatives, I can afford to also fuel and join you guys. No. Carpooling saves a lot of money. Accept that you are not where you want to be financially and you are trying to work on yourself. Stop competing with other people. They have their own journey, you have your own journey. If their pace is so fast and yours is slow, it's okay. It's okay. As long as you get to the same place, what's the problem? So don't fall into this competition of now, because you have a car, you have to go everywhere using your car. You're forgetting this car is using fuel. No. If you can walk, if you can use a bike, if you can use a matatu sometimes, just to save a few bucks, do it. Okay? And don't feel bad about it. People will talk today, and tomorrow they're on to something else to talk about. So let that not worry you. Next point, do cheaper birthday parties. Nowadays, you find someone, a child is just 1 year old. The birthday party is so huge. This child doesn't even know what is happening. Why don't you just save that money and invest it in something else constructive? You're having huge birthday parties, yet financially, we cannot group you with the rich and wealthy. They say there, compromise priorities. Yeah. So please sit down, plan something small, a few cupcakes, a cake, a few snacks, and the funny thing is, children actually don't even care. As long as there's cake and a few sweets, that's it. But you going overboard, trying to compete or trying to, I don't know who you're trying to impress. Maybe you're trying to impress yourself. I don't think that's necessary, especially if financially you have a long way to go. Don't do it. Go for something small and it will do the same job. You'd be very surprised that for children, all that matters is you're there. And there was cake. So try and do cheap birthday parties. Next point, sell your stuff. I don't mean you go and sell even your sofas. Sell stuff that you're not using. For instance, you bought a blender. It's just sitting in your kitchen. You don't use it. Sell it. Use that money for something else. You have a machine you bought and you're not using it for the last 6 months. Get rid of it. Sell it. Get yourself some more money. Anything that's just seated and you can actually get money from it, do away with it. Sell it. If you have 2 cars and you're one person, your household has 1 person, sell the other car or put it to work. Don't allow things to just sit for the sake of, I own this and that. It doesn't make sense. You remember when we said cook in bulk? Yes. This really helps with my next point, which is carry lunch to work. You will save a lot of money instead of eating in restaurants every day. Even if you're not eating in restaurants, you eat at this vibandas, mama mboga, you can't really tell the level of hygiene that was put while preparing that meal. So you might think you're actually getting a cheaper deal, and then the day you get sick, all that money you've been trying to save, you end up taking it to a hospital for you to try and get well. So carry packed lunch, food that you've cooked or from home. You know how it was cooked, how it was prepared, healthy, nutritious food, and you'll save lots of money. My next point, create multiple streams of income. Stop being content with just one stream of income. Let's say you're employed. Don't just sit there and feel like, I arrived. I've arrived. Nimefika. No, 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 no. Try and find other ways of getting income, passive ways. If you can create several streams of income, that will be good for you, so that if one stream gets stuck or shuts down, you are able to survive on these other different streams of income. And on to my last point, exercise at home. Gym subscriptions are very, very expensive. Try and exercise at home. You can do simple exercise. Like you can buy yourself those small lifts. That's something you can do at home. You can get a mat and do stretches. That's something you can do at home. You can buy a skipping rope. You can take long walks. You can jog. The list is endless till further notice. Well, that's it for you today. For any questions, please write to me on the comment section. Let me know what you'd like for us to discuss next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe our channel, and you'll be notified when we upload another video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.